Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day, coming to you on Christmas Eve. This is one of two last video thoughts on Christmas carols that I'll be doing during this season. I thought today we might look at God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. And I'm reminded of a judge, I think she's retired now, Judge Rebecca Doherty. I had a long dialogue with her one time over the importance of a comma and where a comma goes. It's really important in this song. This one's for you if you ever see it, Judge Doherty. The comma makes all the difference. God rest ye, comma, merry gentlemen. Not God rest ye merry, comma, gentlemen. This isn't about merry gentlemen taking a rest. This is about God making troubled people merry. And that small detail opens up the whole meaning of one of the oldest and maybe most misunderstood carols in history. This carol dates back to the streets of the city of London in the 1500s. And we know that this carol emerged at a time when England was anything but merry. Common people back then faced very harsh conditions. Church services were in Latin, a language that really none of them understood. So they would create their own songs in the vernacular, the language of the streets, and they would sing this gospel story in English. It was illegal to translate the Bible into English, but they could sing about the gospel story. And back then, as they sang this, the word merry did not mean happy like it tends to today. It meant mighty or even blessed. And rest didn't mean take a nap. It meant keep or make. So the title actually means God make you mighty, gentlemen. Let me tell you three things about this carol real quick. First, there's a power of joy and a power of mightiness. The carol does insist on joy. It says, let nothing you dismay. And this isn't a shallow cheerfulness. It's deep and defiant in dark times. It's like Nehemiah chapter 8 verse 10 declares that the joy of the Lord can be your strength. This carol reminds us joy isn't simply an emotion. It's actually a weapon against despair, which leads me to my second point. You do have in this carol the gospel in a song, the good news in a song. This carol contains this message. It says, to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. And it echoes Paul's words in Ephesians 2, 1 through 5, where he says, you were dead in your trespasses, but because of his great love for us, God, who's rich in mercy, made us alive with Christ. The medieval singers understood this, that a baby came in to defeat the ancient enemy. And it leads me to the third point I've got, and that's a simple call to action. The response in this Christmas carol calls for tidings of comfort and joy. And we're not just to receive these tidings, but we're to share them. Like the shepherds who spread the word concerning what had been told them about the Christ child. Luke 2:17 says, in the same way, we're called to be bearers of the good news of God working in human life. So this Christmas, I want to reclaim this defiant joy found in this carol. I want to put the comma in the right place so that when the news is grim or when the circumstances are tough or when things just don't seem to be going well, I can maybe try singing this defiant carol as a declaration of God's might and strength that can bring joy in the midst of darkness. Remember the street origins. It wasn't written for comfortable people in comfortable time. It was written to remind troubled hearts that God's comfort breaks through the darkest nights. That's why I made it your video thought for today.